well, it was a good game. I think we'll leave it there. Did it on a high note. It was a good day today. Good stream. Thank you guys all for coming. I'm not going to read anybody today, but I'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, love your guys' faces. Thanks again for being here, and don't forget to take your meds. Bye. Hello, my name is Rusty Sessions. I'm a Twitch streamer, YouTube video creator, and owner of Sidewinder Media. I don't usually go by my IRL or in real life name, as us gamer geeks refer to it. Online, I go by the alias Abilify. Some call me Sidewinder Media, or for my old school World of Warcraft guildies, Boss or Abs. So a little backstory here. I've been into gaming religiously since the Atari, where I have died countless times of dysentery. I'm kind of the age of dinosaur, I think you would say, compared to the other Twitch streamers and other content creators out there right now. I met my wife at an Inkley's camera store, also known as Ritz Wolf Camera in the other parts of the country. That was in Bountiful, Utah, where she would print my wildlife and nature photographs, although she said she would not even look at the spiders during the quality check of the prints. Eventually, we went on a few dates, including our very first one where we went shooting together, as she was also a photographer. She shot her cute little Canon 2E 35mm, and me with my Canon Digital Rebel with the 6.3 megapixels, all on a 16 megabyte CF card. Well, that was until I sold my Fender Pro-Tone bass guitar to buy the huge 256 megabyte card. We ended up getting married and had a photography themed wedding with older antique cameras and unrolled film all over the table as centerpieces. We had a lot of photography friends as well that we invited, and we each gave them a little lanyard that had a little photo pass on it so they could all take pictures and send them to us, and it was a pretty good time. We only had a few requests for each other when it came to the wedding itself. She wanted the traditional elegant white wedding dress and her hair all done and makeup all done, and of course a Diet Coke fountain drink station. And I said that I just wanted to wear a hemp outfit, not do my hair, not have to wear shoes, and that I wanted to be the photographer that took the photo of our first kiss as a husband and wife with a little remote and a camera set up on a tripod. We shook hands, and wed we did. So I talked a little bit about photography there. I have been shooting professionally for about 18 years. I started with wildlife and nature while I would be out and about, and living in Utah, I was able to see some pretty amazing wildlife and spectacular scenery, all really close, and I wanted to share that with others. And I wanted to get as close as what I was seeing in a photo for others to see. From there, I started to sell my photos as people wanted to start purchasing them. And then I met my wife, got married, then started shooting weddings with her. I was the second shooter. She got promoted to a district position with Inkley's, and I started taking the weddings. Then came family portraits, then seniors, and then headshots, product photography, food, and corporate events. A local radio station asked me if I could do some of their shots during some of the shows, and then I started doing headshots and portraits for the full media company for all of their stations. And then that led to more concert photography, and then that led to music festivals such as Country Fan Fest. I added a few celebrity portraits while a few actors were in town for the Sundance Film Festival, and it was nice to have them come to my setup rather than me hunting them down on the streets of Park City. I shot for the Utah Jazz NBA team during their games, of their fans, and other events they had going on outside of the stadium. In my personal shooting time, I would do some more creative things in portraiture and light painting, along with star trails and other nighttime photography. I did that with just a few other photography friends that have become a few of the best people I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. When the Canon 5D Mark II came out, I grabbed one, and while out shooting some stuff for some musicians, I had a few ask me about the new cinematic video capabilities of that camera. That was all the buzz at the time. I picked up a few music videos, and I had some awesome results come out of the final work, with just me, the camera, and some nice Canon glass. Now, I know you can't tell by looking at me because I'm so chungus, but I used to be big into fitness, but I loved hiking, mountain biking, and running, 5Ks, and the occasional dirty dash. I got into CrossFit, and in 2012 was going from one group of exercises to another and was going too quickly and was not careful. I ended up dropping down from some really high pull-ups and landing wrong. I hit the ground flat-footed, and my right knee bent way backwards rather than forwards. That tore off my ACL, ripped my meniscus on both sides, I did a ton of cartilage damage, and fractured the joint. I went in for surgery, and after a ton of work, I was put down for about 6 weeks. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Kind of felt like it. I was not able to even put weight on my knee. Following that, I had months of physical therapy, and a few years later, I was still in pain and not doing well, trying to do everything to put a knee replacement off for as long as I possibly could because of my age and them not lasting a lifetime. I had a few more surgeries and gained well over 100 pounds due to the inactivity and a few other issues, including depression, anxiety, panic disorder, and a lovely bit of paranoid schizophrenia medication that had a huge weight gain as a side effect. But without that particular medication, I would probably end up in the hospital again, as I did once before due to a close call with suicide. This is probably a good place to segue into my streaming career. My gamer tag is Abilify, spelled A81L1FY, replacing some of the letters with numbers that look similar. The name comes from the name of one of my medications that I take. I thought it would be cool when the little combat text crawl in the bottom corner of the screen when you were playing a game would tell you that you were killed by so-and-so, and the game would tell the other players, you were killed by Abilify. I know, right? Very cool. While I could not be as physically active as I would like to be, I was at a PC a lot. My Twitch channel is kind of geared around my mental health. With either followers or subscribers, when they become a new one, a little pill comes up, it opens up, they become one of my happy pills. And doing stuff like that kind of makes me feel good. It's a type of a therapy, same way as photography in general has been for me for my whole life. Sometimes streaming is one of the only ways that I can be social with a large group of people because they're not people that are right in front of me, so it's not that big of a deal. But they are still real people. And some people have become regulars and very good friends of mine. So now for the fun techie stuff. Some of the gear that I use to do my streaming is my main PC. It has an Intel 9th Gen i7 9700K processor, 64 gigs of RAM, a 1TB NVMe boot drive, and another 1TB SSD storage drive, has killer Wi-Fi Internet 6, and a custom Corsair AIO water cooling system. Then I have my second PC that I use for sending the stream out and controlling my alerts and other different things that happen during the stream. 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB SSD. This is also the computer that I use when I need to stream on the go or when I'm out of town. Attached to the main PC are these 4 monitors. The 3 on the bottom are 25-inch, 1080p HD, 240 Hz at 1 millisecond refresh time, and I have 2 of those. The other 34-inch curved, I either take with me with the laptop or one of the 25-inch. I either use the top one or the bottom middle for my gameplay, depending on what game I am playing and what aspect ratio or resolution that they play best for recording this video as the audio source for this Canon mirrorless R6 camera. It has the 16-35mm f2.8 EF lens, and that gives me the option to zoom in when I just need to have a headshot, or to go super wide when I'm showing off my whole setup with limited space to control. As for my cameras, when streaming, I use the Canon M200 with an AC adapter. That way I don't have to worry about running out of batteries, and I can stream for as long as I want with it plugged right into the wall. I used to use a little Logitech C920, which is one of the most popular stream cams right now. But after doing streaming with the Canon M200, the C920 just was not cutting it in terms of quality in comparison. I highly recommend the M200 or the M50 if you're going to be streaming with one of Canon's cameras to start with, or if you're on a budget. I will also be using my Canon 5D Mark III as a full wide room angle shot for streaming when I get the rest of my studio set up as a green screen room, basically everything in front of me that is not quite done yet. And that's going to be part of my new stream, where I will be doing a weight loss by playing video games stream. Because hey, we've all thought about it as being a possibility, and I'm going to prove that you can. With the room fully chroma keyed to green, and the Canon 5D Mark III with the 24 to 105mm or the 16 to 35mm lens, I will be able to place myself inside of the game, letting the viewer watch me in the game on the stream. Along with that, I have also created a new channel using my Abilify name only So it would be www.twitch.tv/Abilify, spelled the way we did before. With using Canon cameras and all of their different interchangeable lenses, you can get some incredible looking live stream video or footage from YouTube by being able to control how narrow or wide the scene is, along with really narrow depth of field using their wider apertures, with you as the subject and everything else in the background with a beautiful blur. And great bokeh if you have some little smaller light accents. Some of these cameras, like the M50 and the 5D Mark III and this Canon R6, all have external mic inputs so that you can attach microphones like a compact shotgun mic or lav mics and be able to take it right from your streaming setup out and about to do vlogging or other video recording for your YouTube channel or any other video production. All of these Canon cameras that I mentioned are fairly compact, starting even with my M50 or M200 as the smallest, all the way up to the 5D Mark III, and the R6 is my largest, but all with the options of attaching Canon cameras lenses to the front for any type of macro to wide to long telephoto, both at home in the studio or out in the field with all the same camera. You can't do that with any webcam specific camera. So let's talk about how to use your Canon DSLR or mirrorless camera as a much better alternative to the traditional webcam. Traditionally, you would have to have a capture card plugged in either in line between the camera and the computer or as a card in your computer, and then you would use your USB port. You would also need to make sure that your camera was capable of a clean HDMI output so that the info or other guides would not show up on the video while using it as a webcam. Capture cards as simple as these were going for hundreds, if you could even find one. With everyone working, going to school, and visiting others from their homes with their computers, and while webcams and capture cards were becoming virtually unavailable, Canon was already starting to get their foot in the door into live streaming before the pandemic, with me showing the M200 as a streaming camera at their 2020 CES show in Las Vegas. It was only fitting that Canon develop an application that would allow you to use your camera that you already own or could purchase as a webcam, not only making it possible, but improving the quality of your video stream at the same time. And the Canon Webcam Utility is free and available on PC and Mac right online, and works with I think around over 40 cameras or more. So let me show you how to find, download, and install and use the Canon Webcam Utility.
So we're just going to go to Google here. We're going to search for Canon EOS Webcam Utility. It's going to probably be the first one that pops up for you in your searches. This is from Canon. You're going to scroll down here. This will have all your information on the utility software. There's a Mac release as well as a Windows release. We're going to go with Windows since that is what I'm on. Right here are some of the main features. Here is a video on streaming with the EOS Webcam Utility Software, if you want to watch that for later. Here's the different programs and applications that it will work with. Before you begin, there's a forum, getting started guide, and your facts. We are going to go right here to select your model. I'm going to click that. I'm going to select the EOS 5D Mark III here. That's a camera that I'm going to be adding to this computer. I think I've already downloaded it, but we're going to try. Here is all the different softwares for that particular Canon camera. All of them aren't the webcam utility. So you're going to find the one that does say EOS Webcam Utility for Windows or Mac if you're on the Mac. We're going to select here. We're going to add some information. A81L1FY. Abilify. A81L1FY. I'm just going to do the Gmail one. Gmail.com. Opt-in status. Yes, I want to receive information from Canon. Who doesn't? Did the EOS Webcam Utility influence you to purchase a Canon camera? No, I would have anyways. And I have. I will primarily use EOS Webcam Utility for, and you can either choose video chat conferencing or streaming. I'm going to do streaming right here. Submit. Thank you. Close this window by clicking the X. Done. Okay, so now the download option is available. We're going to click that. Right here it tells you, some basic information if you do not know how to install from your download. We're going to go down here, and it's going to be a zip folder. I'm going to click that. It's going to open this window right here. Now these are going to be zipped, and they need to be extracted by default. On Windows, it's right here, or whatever unzipping program that you use. I'm just going to use the WinZip one. So I'm going to click Extract All. It's going to ask where you want the destination. I'm just going to leave them right where they are. And then I'm going to click Show Extracted Files when complete. Makes it easy. I have to replace because it's already there on my computer. Okay, now these are extracted because it doesn't have the option up here to unzip them. And then I'm going to click Setup. Right here, I'm going to select my language, English. And this is telling me that the Setup Wizard will install the utility onto my computer. Click Next, and then read the software agreement like everyone does. Sounds good to me. I accept. Right here, want to know where you want to put it. And it's going to ask for administration permission. So I'm going to click Yes. And off it goes. Now this may take different time depending on your system and its hardware performance. It's asking me on my security if I would like to install this program. After you have installed it, you are going to need to restart your computer. So let's do that now. Alright, now that you are up and running again, you are going to want to plug in your camera with the purchased separately or the provided USB cable for your data on your camera. Once that's plugged in, you want to turn the camera on, make sure it is running, and then you are going to go to your desired program that you would like to use the webcam on. These right here are the main ones that I use for streaming, while these ones up here are usually for team meetings, stuff like that. I use Streamlabs OBS, but I do not want to mess that up, and I want to show you it from a clean slate. So let's go ahead and open OBS Studio. Here's where it's going to show what your stream sees, is in this window right here. We're going to go down here to Sources. We're going to Add, and right here where it says Video Capture Device. Normally this is where you would select your webcam, but with the EOS Streaming Utility Software, we're going to select our capture device. Right here you can name it your camera, you can name it Video Capture Device as it says by default, whatever you would like here. I'm going to leave it at what it says. So create new. Okay. It's going to come up with a bunch of different options here. Right here, it's going to want to know which device you want to use. Right now, it shows that my default is CamLink 4K. That is the capture device that I told you about earlier, that it's in line between a camera and the PC. If you look here, we have the EOS Webcam Utility as an option as a device. We are going to go ahead and click that. And voila! It sees the 5D Mark III that is sitting on my desk plugged into my computer now. Now, depending on what software you're using, there's a different way to set up your different resolutions, your different frame rates, that kind of stuff. It's a little too close to BB-8 to get focus. Close enough. But look how clean that looks. That looks fantastic. I am loving that. You would want to set your streaming at 29.97p or 60p if your camera has that as an available option, or 24, or others if not. But the best would be 60p for streaming and gaming, more of the fast action pace stuff. So you do want to get an AC battery supply, or what they call a dummy battery. I would suggest you stick with Canon brand, because they will treat your camera much better, and I cannot guarantee what it will do to your camera. And let's open one in Zoom. So you're going to go to your Zoom. We're not going to make a meeting today, but I'm going to go into the settings so that I can see what video preview we have in here. And there you go, right here in Zoom, EOS Webcam Utility as all camera. Beautiful, isn't it? It's awesome. This will get you going with most applications in most instances. If you need more information, you can go back to the Webcam Utility Software page on Canon's website. Go to the Getting Started guide or the support forum where you can ask questions. It might be answered in the facts, or you can find me on twitch.tv/A81L1FY, Abilify. where I will be streaming and can answer your questions live. I'll be more than happy to meet you, see how it's going. You need to sign up or log in, and then make sure you click this follow button right here, little heart, and you'll be able to be notified when I come online. Or if you want, go to compiled.social/Abilify and add me on my different social links. Thank you for watching. I hope you understand that your image is your image to other people. The way you look on screen is the way people are going to remember you. You can have all of the gear, all the information, be a great personality on camera, but if it doesn't look good, you don't look good. I want to thank Canon for wanting me to be a part of this event. My views on them have always been high. I have loved their products. I have used them forever. I am definitely a Canon fanboy, and the more I get to know their products and their company, the more my expectations of them have been exceeded. So good luck to you, love your faces, and don't forget to take your meds.